Now, to our top story. A 9-year-old minor girl's alleged gang rape, murder, forced cremation in the national capital has sparked outrage. The victim was allegedly raped and murdered at a crematorium in the national capital, then forcibly cremated by the accused. The accused have been arrested, but what is clear is, will the girl get justice? Politicians are making a beeline to meet the victim's family. Remember, the victim comes from a poor Dalit family, and clearly there is an attempt being made to reach out to the family in the times that we live in. The fact is that this is a country where one girl is raped every 15 minutes. And that's why every case deserves our attention. And when it happens here in the national capital, the media and the political pressure is even more intense. It's our top story.
न्याय चाहिए मुझे मेरी बेटी का न्याय चाहिए जल्लादों को फांसी दो
A mother's plea for justice. Her 9-year-old daughter, who left home to fetch water on Sunday, never returned. She was allegedly raped, murdered and cremated by the suspected assaulters. The accused, a crematorium priest and his associates, now under arrest, allegedly told the parents the victim was electrocuted before they cremated her.
मुझे मेरी बेटी का न्याय चाहिए जल्लादों को फांसी दो ये धमकी दे रहे थे पुलिस वाले भी दोनों लेडीज पुलिस वाली भी कि बच्ची का रेप नहीं हो तो झूठ बोले मैंने आप इतना मत हम दबाव में डाल दिए एक कमरा बंद मैं कर दी थी एक मैं मेरे पति कर लिया था
The alleged rape and murder of the girl that has sent shockwaves across the nation has now become a huge political issue in the national capital. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, who visited the Dalit family on Wednesday, demanded justice. The visit has sparked a face-off between the BJP and the Congress.
राहुल गांधी जी ने बहुत ही गैर जिम्मेदाराना व्यवहार दिखाया है। अपने ट्वीट में उन्होंने उस दलित बच्ची के माता-पिता के फोटो को ट्वीट किया है। ये गैर कानूनी है।
The reality is that Rahul Gandhi ji reached out to that bereaved family. He had the capacity to care. He has the capacity to hug their family and assure justice. What can you do? What can your spokespersons do? What can your ministers do?
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal also met the parents of the victim. He promised financial assistance of 10 lakh rupees to the family and a magisterial inquiry.
जो परिवार के साथ अन्याय हुआ है वो बेहद दुखद है। दिल्ली सरकार परिवार को 10 लाख रुपए का मुआवजा देगी। इसमें हम मैजिस्ट्रियल इंक्वायरी ऑर्डर करेंगे और इस केस में दिल्ली सरकार सबसे बड़े से बड़ा वकील कोर्ट में लगाएगी ताकि दोषियों को कड़ी से कड़ी सख्त से सख्त सजा दिलवाई जा सके।
Trinamool Congress has demanded a statement from Home Minister Amit Shah in Parliament on the rape case.
I will shave my head if Amit Shah comes to Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha tomorrow and gives a statement on why this 9-year-old girl, come on, I challenge Mr. Amit Shah.
The Nirbhaya rape case in 2012 triggered a massive countrywide outrage that led to major changes in rape law. While a tougher law is still in place, the alleged rape and murder of the 9-year-old girl shows how unsafe the national capital is for women. With camera person Ritesh Mishra, this is Abhishek Anand reporting for India Today.
Let's raise the big questions tonight. Capital shame. Will India fight for a poor Dalit family? Do caste and class divides in a way shape society's response to such crimes? Has the anti-rape law failed as a deterrent in a way? And how best does one ensure swift and speedy justice? That's the question I want to raise. Lalita Kumaramangalam is former chairperson of the National Commission of Women. Sushmita Dev is president of the All India Mahila Congress. Meera Sood is a lawyer in the High Court and Supreme Court. And Riya Singh is a Dalit rights activist. I appreciate all of you joining me on the show. Let's get this very clear first from each and every one of you. Starting with you, Lalita Kumaramangalam, you've been a former NCW president, chairperson. I want to understand, do you believe that enough has been done post Nirbhaya in the last decade to ensure that such cases have swift, sure, exemplary punishment? Or are we still in a sense where it's ad hocism? This case is in the national capital, therefore it gets the limelight. But many rapes occur in small districts, small towns that often get lost out. Do you believe that we are in a better place today than we were 10 years ago to ensure justice for this girl's family?
Quite frankly, in one word, Rajdeep, no. Unfortunately, rape in India has been politicized too much by all political parties. Regardless of whether I may be a politician myself or not, I have said this for years. As chairperson of the NCW, before that and after that, I continue to say that we should stop politicizing rape. The moment we do it, regardless of whichever party the person who is doing this belongs to, what happens is that the issue gets absolutely subverted.
No, what do you mean by politicizing? No, 1 minute, Lalita Kumaramangalam, what is wrong? If politicians put political pressure, let's be clear, if Rahul Gandhi, Arvind Kejriwal didn't go to the site, we would say that they lack empathy. They go there.
No.
Do you call it politicization?
Let me explain what I was going to say.
Yes.
First of all, I object strongly to everybody, including you, calling her a Dalit girl. A girl has been raped, a child of this country. It doesn't matter what party, what caste she belongs to, what creed she belongs to. She is a victim of one of the most heinous crimes mankind could even, perpetrate on another human being. She's a child who's been raped. She deserves justice. Secondly, it does not matter whether the perpetrators belong to a party, belong to a particular creed, caste, etc. I really don't give a damn about that. I'm sorry to use such language on television. I hardly ever do. The fact is that a child has been raped, and her perpetrators must be brought to justice. Even in the Nirbhaya case, which provoked so much outrage from the country, the only positive outcome was that we had a change in the laws. But apparently the change in those laws, is not enough to deter such horrible, I wouldn't even call them human beings, such horrible creatures from raping little children. Think of the age of these 4 guys who raped this child. None of them was below the age of 40. A little girl of 9 years could be raped in a public place like a crematorium, where normally there are a lot of people, perhaps because of COVID they weren't. But nonetheless, we, instead of shaming the perpetrators, everybody, and I'm not talking about one particular party at all. I refuse to get into this tutu meme that comes from politicizing of such issues. One wants to politicize this in a positive way, yes, but when we start comparing one party to another, one state to another, somebody said this, somebody didn't do this, what are we doing? We are actually shifting attention away from the fact that this child needs justice immediately, right now.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you, ma'am.
I now expect them to file the FIR at the earliest.
I agree with you. Let me be very...
That is what needs to take place.
Sure.
I really don't care what party has said what today. Rajiv, I'm extremely upset and angry that even in so many years, we are still seeing the same thing again and again.
All I want to say is that it is unfortunately at times, people in politics who compare the crime rates when it comes to rape in one state with the other and then use it to score political points. And that brings me to you, Sushmita Dev, because where I personally think it's good to see our political leaders go and empathize with the family. Whether it's Rahul Gandhi, Arvind Kejriwal, Brinda Karat, whoever goes there, Adesh Gupta of the BJP, whoever wants to go there, should go and empathize with the family to ensure justice. The point sometimes which is made is that when a rape occurs, let's say, in a Congress-ruled state, do local congressmen show the same outrage? If it occurs in a BJP-ruled state, do BJP politicians show the same outrage? That we need to recognize that these are heinous crimes that rise above all partisan political divides. As the head of the All India Mahila Congress, do you believe that politicians recognize that?
Rajdeep, I think doesn't matter whose government is there and which party is in power. When a rape happens, like my colleague said, that it is a heinous crime. And I think as a society, we all have to fight it. I remember in 2012 when the Nirbhaya case happened, it was not just a political issue. I mean, common people of Delhi took to the streets, if I remember correctly. And I don't think any politician should treat rape differently when it comes to a state where their government is there and comes to another state where their government is not there. Any politician is, after all, a social activist who must show their empathy and fight for their rights if there's been any injustice. But what I would like to say is that how many times are we going to debate the same thing? I said what we need to do is, the Verma committee is one of the most comprehensive committees reports that was actually laid down by the Verma committee report. And I'm sad to say that irrespective of which government has been in power and not, many of the recommendations are still yet to be implemented. That's what we need to focus on. Police reform, police sensitivity, education at the education level, making them gender sensitization. Those are the things that every government needs to
Can I ask you though, ma'am, a direct question? That if this minor girl, I know Lalita Kumaramangalam objected to my referring to her caste, that she came from a Dalit community. I want a straight answer to this. If she was not from the Dalit community, would you all show the same outrage, the political outrage, as I said, the empathy? Are we very clear? Are we very, very clear that whether the girl belongs to an upper caste urban family or a poor rural Dalit family, the crime is the same, which deserves exemplary punishment, and politicians must outrage?
You see, any woman who's violated, or any young child who's violated the way this child has been, I don't think her caste should play a role. And, I just want to say, Rajdeep, I remember just after 2019 elections were over and results were not out, there was a gang rape in Alwar, and Ashok Gehlotji's government was there. And Rahul Gandhi flew down. It was the 16th of May. It was his state. His government, his party government was there. So it should not be partisan. It definitely should not be politicized. But to show empathy, I don't think there's anything ethically wrong with it. And whatever the caste of the victim or the perpetrator should not play a role. But the fact is, when a girl comes from a certain community which has special protection under the Atrocities Act, they have special rights and they have the right to invoke it. Whether we like it or not, that act prevails in this country.
Sure. Let me therefore take that to you, Riya Singh, because as a Dalit rights activist, do you believe that the truth is that Dalit girls are even more vulnerable even today in our society? That is the harsh reality. Political correctness will tell us don't, refer to her as a Dalit girl, but that's who she is. That's one of, that could be, I'm not saying that could be one of the reasons for her vulnerability.
I think that is the reason, and I think none of us should be ashamed or hesitant in, talking about caste, because that is our social reality. Like, we have not gotten over from caste realities, and definitely our caste identities and work professions, like we belonging to Valmiki or Chamar or other caste groups, which are highly vulnerable and pushed into unclean professions and marginal positions, clearly, they are definitely more vulnerable than other women in this country. And there should be I definitely give a damn that, caste plays a role on all the kind of crimes that happen on Dalit women. We can't ignore that fact here in 2021. We've been yelling back for years and years that caste is important and we need to acknowledge it. And we're tired to explain why politically, socially, we should be acknowledging that caste is important.
But you don't believe it's got any less? Riya Singh, are you telling me you don't believe it's got any less? When I look at crimes against Dalits in terms of conviction rate, 2015 was 27.6, now it's 32. Do you believe there's been an improvement? Do you believe that the system responds now in a manner it didn't 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 50 years ago?
No, we have to look at the conviction rate and also the crime registered in all these years against scheduled caste. What is the conviction rate under the SC/ST Act? The conviction rate is highly low.
So you believe that that clearly, in a way, there's double discrimination. The girl is she's a woman.
There is a double discrimination, clearly double discrimination. The police is complicit. Look at this last year, this boys' locker room. NCW responded so quickly, and there was an FIR. There was a clear case happened. There was a conviction or there was a punishment, and peer photos were pulled down. Groups were banned overnight. All of that happened overnight. Why does it take so many days for a Dalit woman or a Dalit child to get their complaint registered?
You know that you're making points which I'll also take to Lalitha Kumaramangalam because of the sarkari nature of some of these commissions that are there. But to you, Mihira Sood, post Nirbhaya, is the law more proactive? Whatever happened to those fast-track courts that we were to get to ensure that the crime would be there would be punishment in the fastest possible time. Cases still drag on year after year. This has more publicity. It's in a national capital, I reiterate. Dare I say, if it happened in a small town or village, it might take years to even get any modicum of justice.
It's not, I don't think it's as simplistic as that. I mean, there have been cases that have come from places like Hathras that have got attention. There are many other cases in Delhi that haven't. It's not that simplistic.
Hathras is 100 kilometers away from Delhi, ma'am. If it happened in Chhattisgarh or some other part of Jharkhand, would it have the same attention?
What I do want to respond to is the idea that, the girl's caste is not relevant, to this crime. And, a rape is a rape and we should just always, just all condemn it the same. And, of course, all rapes are condemnable. But the fact of the matter is that even the law recognizes uneven power relations as a fundamental aspect of sexual crimes, right? Power is at the heart of any kind of sexual assault. Even the letter of the law recognizes that, the Verma Committee recognized that the law, has more severe punishments for crimes when they are committed by a person in a position of power or authority over a person who does not have that kind of power or authority. So when you are denying her identity as, as someone from an oppressed community, then I'm sorry, it is you who are politicizing it, not anybody else, because her identity is extremely relevant and may well have been a factor in, the perpetrator seeing her as somebody who was, quote unquote, rapeable in that sense. And, it's not politicizing to acknowledge her identity and acknowledge that we as a society have a lot of work to do on that score, on the score of caste relations. The people politicizing it are the ones in power who wish to deny any kind of caste divisions in Hindu society because they're looking for Hindu consolidated votes.
Lalitha Kumaramangalam, you want to respond since the other panelists do not seem to have an issue at all with my identifying her caste identity. The fact is, a Dalit girl is even more vulnerable in society. Yes. Let's be clear, that is the truth.
Rajdeep, I'm not saying that's not the truth. I'm saying that when a rape victim is identified only by her caste, it's not fair to the victim. I agree that Dalit women have, I wouldn't say two, they have 3 biases against them. They're women, they hardly ever have any sort of economic strength, and third, the upper caste always take advantage of them. I'm not denying that, but that is a different issue altogether. I'm saying that in this case, why keep saying Dalit? Any girl who is raped, as pointed out by the lady who spoke before. Ma'am, can I please finish? I didn't disturb you. Do me the courtesy of allowing me to finish. One by one, yes. Any woman or girl who is raped is at a vulnerable position. Some women are more vulnerable. Some women, I mean, even to say less is, I would feel even bad saying that. But the fact is that abuse is always by people who are more powerful. Yes. And perpetrated on those who are less powerful.
Ma'am, but let me intervene just to say this.
Is that rape is never just about somebody's caste.
We agree that there are power relations.
In this case, these horrible old fellows caught a little child and brutalized her so badly that she died.
Ma'am,
I want us to focus on that. Yes, work has to be done to uplift Dalit women, to educate them, to give them better opportunities. All of that I agree with. but that can also be equally true for poor women from other castes.
I am asking
So
you
I
a
don't
simple
want to
question,
make
producer,
that's
just a
why I'm
minute.
saying I don't want to
I'm
make this
asking you a
about
simple
castes.
question, ma'am, that I want to
Yeah.
understand. Groups like, organizations like the NCW, they also at a way
Yeah.
reflect these biases at one level, ma'am, because the fact is they will take up issues which will get the political headlines, the political limelight. My point to you is this, that when it happens, let's say in rural Jharkhand, rural Chhattisgarh, will the NCW pick it up in the way that you might if some politician makes some comment, a sexual remark in Mumbai, Delhi, makes it a headline, NCW says we are going to look at it, particularly if it's an opposition politician. We need to change.
Rajdeep, let's not only blame the NCW. Like every other organization in the country, regardless of whether it's government or non-governmental, etc., except for perhaps a few, we reflect the same biases society has generally. Of course, there are individuals and organizations who don't have it, but if you look at it, rape is also as much a social problem as a legal problem. In fact, post the Verma Committee, as Sushmita ji pointed out, there have been a huge number of reforms that have been recommended by the after Justice Verma, the new law came out, which have not been carried out. And I agree with her when she says that this is what we should be concentrating
but you know,
on. Yes,
ma'am,
of course,
that's
get
exactly
justice
it.
for
And
children like
no,
this,
but that's
victims of rape.
Ma'am,
But also for things that need to actually be put into place, where perhaps FIRs are filed faster, where gender sensitization, caste sensitization, all of this.
Ma'am,
Perhaps that will bring about more change.
I'm just going to stop you for a moment because, you know, that's where the frustration creeps in, that we will discuss this after every such incident. But what's the reality? Remember, Oxfam India showed that the Nirbhaya Fund announced 8 years ago, much of it is underused and underfunded. And this is as true of BJP ruled states as it is of Congress or non-Congress, non-BJP ruled states. So, Sushmita Dev, I want to ask you this. That's where groups like yours or the Mahila Congress needs to put pressure, let's say, on Congress governments, or BJP groups need to put pressure on their government, at least use the funds to ensure better street lighting, ensuring more CCTV cameras in an area like this. Take this instance. In the crematorium today, what's happened inside, we have no eyewitnesses. We know that the person, one of the people involved was drunk. Beyond that, what are they now saying? Oh, the girl got electrocuted, there was no rape. Now, if there were proper CCTV cameras, if we had proper systems, you would probably have a better case built up much faster. Now, these are the things that, Sushmita Dev, you need to look at.
Absolutely. Anything that impacts, a right to life should get priority and should be given priority by any government. Like, it's more important to implement the Verma Committee reports, like yours says, which says that every police station must have a CCTV camera. Because this case that we're talking about in Delhi, the parents of the girls were locked away for 15 hours. I mean, instead of helping them, they were at the receiving end. So I absolutely agree with you. And Rajdeep, I can tell you that every time there's a rape in any of the states where the chief minister belongs to the Congress party, I'm the first to shoot off a letter. Yes, I may not flash it, but no one can disagree that we need to have zero tolerance towards this crime. And I also want to say that, see, it's not just a crime of passion when a rape happens. It is about power. It is that power is at play. So if it's a Dalit girl, she's disempowered. If it's a poorer girl, she's also disempowered. So the gravity of the crime is much more on them, and they can never invoke their rights. See, we amended the POCSO to say whoever rapes a girl who is a minor and kills her, rapes as death penalty. Gang rape, we enhanced the penalty. But the question is, we focus too much on penalty as a knee-jerk reaction to diffuse the situation. But we don't make those real changes we should when it comes to fast-track courts, CCTV cameras in police stations, and not just the Mahila Congress, but I think every organization should work towards this, and every government must work towards it.
You used the word knee-jerk reaction. Let's give death penalty. Let's ensure immediate death penalty. The fact is, this is not going to work by sort of pushing for death penalty for the rapists. You need much more in terms of systems. I want to understand from you, Riya Singh, and again, this is a direct question. Today we saw a lot of the citizens in the area where this has happened protesting against the politicians, or angry about the fact that they feel the police will not give justice. Do you really believe, Ria, that even in today's India, that you cannot get justice? Is that what you're, why this anger? Try and explain the anger to us of the people in the area. What explains their anger?
See, the half of the show went into discussing Verma committee. So let me just start from there. That since a Dalit woman is raped, and if we are to invoke the SC/ST Act, the Verma committee, according to the Verma committee recommendation, Nirbhaya Fund, she will not get any compensation. So half of the procedures that the new amendments are talking about is something that won't apply to a Dalit person if we are to invoke the SC/ST Act. So I don't think that we need to discuss on those lines when we're talking about caste rapes. Second, we have got certain recommendations and punishments and compensatory provisions back in 79 with the SC/ST Act. It's been so many years that our laws have been amended, the special law is amended, and there are procedure. And the police and the judiciary has failed to implement those basic things. Like fast track court is already a part of the SC/ST Act.
No, but you're not explaining to me the anger. Why are people angry? No, I'm not able to understand.
They're
why are
angry
people angry?
because this has not happened in any of our cases. So this is not the first case that's happening. So people who are living in these areas and people who are Dalits, we see these cases every day around us. You were talking about a village in Jharkhand, a village in Haryana. Let me tell NCW, my name is Ria Singh. I have written so many emails to you writing about rapes happening and molestation cases happening in Haryana, Bihar, Rajasthan. I have not received any responses.
You get no response. You're telling me that when you write about these cases in rural India, you get no response from bodies like the NCW?
No responses. We are active on Twitter. We get support from Twitter. We don't get support from the SC Commission. We don't get support from NCW. We don't get it unless we write like 1,000 emails. So I have only got a response for one complaint which was filed through Ghaziabad.
Very, these are the hard realities that need to come across. So therefore, Mihira Sood, we haven't seen candlelight marches yet. I just wonder, Nirbhaya case struck a chord at that particular time. In a way, the girl was from a middle class family, the manner in which it happened, it struck a chord. Here is a poor Dalit girl who's gone to get clean, fresh, cool drinking water for her family. Her father has left her there to get it for her, and she gets raped in an empty crematorium. It doesn't seem to register in the minds of many people in the way Nirbhaya did. So there is a class dimension here.
Rajdeep, I'm sure you're right on that. I still also must express that I'm a little uncomfortable with the idea that, candlelight marches are the barometer by which we measure these things, or, how many tweets people put out is a barometer by which we measure these things, because I think these are all...
I agree, we need justice.
They can be also extremely...
The only barometer has to be swift, exemplary justice.
Yes, that's true. The barometer has to be swift and exemplary justice. And I think the fact of the matter is that unless and until politicians see that this is something people are going to kick them out on, an issue that people will vote them in on or kick them out on, which citizens are also not showing, and politicians are not recognizing citizens' anger as in when it does arise, it's not going to be something that is acted upon or implemented.
That is the worry. And let me leave it there, because I think clearly, in a way, this reflects perhaps the media also is equally guilty. As I said, if this happened today in rural Jharkhand and rural Chhattisgarh, and it does happen across this country, would we be putting it as the first story on prime time? So we need to look inwards in the media as much as do the politicians, as does the NCW, as does civil society in a way.